Hello, hello, good morning. Hello. Morning. Wow, there's a few people here. I've got a very simple job up front, just doing some introductions, and I'll be back a bit later to do some thank yous. In between, I might slip into something a bit more comfortable, but I think it's great to see so many people here, and with the support of NBCF, we're actually very pleased to have Natalie Carden here with us today to share a bit of her story. So we're actually going to start with Natalie. Don't be too nervous, we're all friends. So thank you very much, Natalie. Please give Natalie a round of applause.
Thanks everyone, and good morning. My name is Natalie, and I'm a community ambassador for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. I'm here because I'm really passionate about ending deaths from breast cancer. I'm here because I want to raise awareness and funds, and I love promoting the foundation and the amazing work that they do. The NBCF is solely funded by the Australian community, so that's you guys. They don't receive any government funding, and they just couldn't do what they do without you. So on behalf of the NBCF, thank you for holding this event and coming along to support. I don't know anyone who hasn't been touched by cancer in one way or another. And unfortunately, these days, we probably all have a story to tell. But breast cancer has had a particular impact on my life, so here's mine. My mum was a strong, kind, resilient, gentle, hilarious, and a little bit dorky, and family was everything to her. She was the most optimistic person I've ever known, and she remained that way up until the day she was taken from us. Her first breast cancer diagnosis was in 2007. Mum was always very vigilant with her health checks. And for this reason, thankfully, the cancer was found early. She still endured chemotherapy and radiotherapy, which took its toll on her physically, but her prognosis was good. Her second breast cancer diagnosis was in 2018. Again, it was caught early. "Oh well, here we go again," she would say, eager to fight the disease, but all too familiar with the grueling treatment process. She knew what lay ahead, yet she approached it with a positive attitude and took it all in her stride. After 12 months, she was given the all clear. In April 2020, as the world was coming to terms with the global pandemic, my sisters and I received a message kind of out of nowhere from my dad. Some not very good news, I'm afraid. Mum had a routine scan which has shown some spots on her liver. Sadly, it showed that some cancer had formed, probably from her previous bouts of breast cancer. We have an appointment with an oncologist next week, but the specialist is very positive, and we think we've caught it early, so we must all be positive. It's not the news you want to hear ever, but especially in an already uncertain world and at the start of what was to become months of strict lockdowns. But the outlook was okay. They'd caught it early and we were all being positive. A week later, another message from Dad. Unfortunately, it's stage 4 breast cancer, which isn't good. We'll start on chemo shortly for about 3 to 6 months and see how that goes. Hang on, wait. How do you go from being positive because we caught it early to stage 4 breast cancer in the space of a week? It didn't make any sense. And what does stage 4 even mean? I know it's not good, but my head was absolutely spinning. What we were being told made no sense, and to read between the lines about what might be happening was just incomprehensible. But as always, Mum didn't seem too fazed, although maybe that was just for our benefit. Did I mention she was incredibly selfless as well? Once again, she approached the treatment plan with the same positive attitude as before, determined to beat it once again. Things started off okay. Mum was feeling really tired after chemo, but that was about it. The telltale signs of hair loss were all there again, but she wasn't fazed. But after a few weeks, she began to react really badly to the chemo and ended up in hospital to help with some complicated side effects. Because of COVID, we weren't allowed to see her, so it was really, really tough. But she was amazing and came home after 2 weeks. On Mother's Day 2020, like almost everybody, we were restricted to a Zoom catch-up. And being a close family, with everything that Mum was going through, that was really, really tough. But to see her smiling face on the screen when her delivery of flowers and balloons showed up right at that moment, it was just the best feeling. And we couldn't wait to be able to see her and hug her in person, whenever that may be. Things were fairly routine for the next couple of months. Mum started on a different treatment plan. She had good days and bad days, but she seemed to be handling it all pretty well. We even managed to see her occasionally during the break between all those lockdowns. But we were also really conscious of her weakened immunity from the chemo, so it was a really tough balance trying to keep her healthy but trying to see her as well. In August, we got some really bad news. The new treatment hadn't been having any effect on the cancer at all. And while it hadn't spread any further, it had still been getting bigger. We were all just incredibly sad and frustrated, and we had to explore more options. There was potential to put Mum into a trial for a new drug, which would hopefully slow the growth of the cancer while also having minimal side effects. But we soon found out that she wasn't even eligible for that, because her general health was slowly deteriorating and she wasn't deemed a suitable candidate. So she began yet another different course of treatment, but again, multiple complications and side effects, and ended up in hospital for about 3 weeks. None of us were allowed to visit at this point, and I started to get really scared. What if we lost her while she was in there and we couldn't see her? What if she died by herself? I just couldn't bear to think of it. The devastating reality of what was happening to Mum was beginning to sink in. We were told, be prepared for what might happen next. Given our circumstances, the hospital restrictions were eventually softened for us and we could visit Mum, but only one person at a time, once a day, for 1 hour. It was both wonderful and heartbreaking at the same time. The next couple of months are honestly a bit of a blur. Mum was in and out of hospital, and we were often called in for these family meetings where we were inevitably told that the latest treatment wasn't working. In fact, it was actually making her sicker. And what would we like to do? Mum's response was always the same. I want to try a different treatment. I want to live. At this point, things really weren't looking good. And I've learned that when you go through something like this, the goalposts, they start to change. Instead of, I hope she gets better, it's, I just hope she doesn't react to this treatment. Instead of, I hope she'll be okay, it's, I hope she's still here for my birthday. And those sorts of small wins somehow become huge wins. Can't look too far ahead. You just have to be grateful for what you have that day. You desperately search for anything that you think might help, like encouraging her to eat broccoli and blueberries because they're superfoods and they might somehow miraculously cure her. It seems ridiculous when I think about it now, but in the moment you feel like you would do anything to try and keep her. The decision was eventually made in late November 2020 on the advice of her oncologists and doctors to stop the treatment. The cocktail of drugs and other treatments were making Mum sicker than the cancer itself. And as painful as it was, it made more sense to stop so that Mum could feel well and just enjoy the time she had left. Mum and Dad celebrated their 47th wedding anniversary from Mum's palliative care bed on the 1st of December in 2020. Dad bought Mum the biggest bunch of roses I've ever seen. And it was then that I realised it is possible to feel both immense love and incredible heartbreak at the same time. But Mum wasn't quite done fighting yet. Despite being in a palliative ward, she was determined to make it home for Christmas. Now, people don't usually walk out of a palliative ward, right? Well, my mum does. After a few weeks, some intense physio, and a number of decent meals, which she could actually now enjoy, Mum came home on the 22nd of December, much to the surprise of her doctors. And needless to say, Christmas that year was something we'll never forget. In some ways, it was almost as if Mum's fight to get home for Christmas was her final fight. And she won it, but it was all she had left. And not long after that, the cancer took its inevitable toll, and she went downhill quite quickly. Since her diagnosis, she had faced an uphill battle the whole time. But she'd taken it on with a strength and a dignity I will never forget. My dad was an incredible husband and nurse for her in those last couple of weeks. He dealt with some things that nobody should ever have to deal with, but he did it with strength and without complaint. My dad is not a romantic man, but that is true love at its finest. We lost Mum on the 20th of January 2021, and she was surrounded by all of us. Losing my mum to breast cancer is easily the hardest thing I've ever been through. Watching her disappear before my eyes, feeling hopeless and utterly helpless and out of control. It's something I wouldn't wish on anyone. Looking back, we were grieving for her even before she passed away, and it was incredibly difficult and surreal. It was slow, yet it was quick. The disease taking her just 9 months after her diagnosis. But we are not alone, and our story is not unique. 57 people are diagnosed with breast cancer every day in Australia, and it is expected that this year, 9 Australians will lose their lives to it every day. This year, thanks to organisations like you, the NBCF are funding world-class research projects to help further understand risk factors, develop new ways to treat and monitor breast cancer, improve quality of life for breast cancer patients, improve treatment outcomes, and ultimately save lives. I often think about all the different treatments we tried with Mum that she endured only to get sicker and sicker and for the cancer eventually to take over. Imagine if we could turn that around for people in the future. When Mum died, I experienced a whole roller coaster of emotions. I was sad, angry, still sad, I'm still angry. But I was also driven to do something about it, to channel all that emotion and energy into something positive. Watching Mum go through treatment, seeing it not work, making her sick, it just made me feel so helpless. So that's why I'm here telling my story, in the hope that we can all raise more awareness and funds for the NBCF to continue their important work. I truly hope and believe that one day, nobody else will have to lose a loved one to breast cancer. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you for taking the time out to share a piece of your life with us. Thank you for making your mom and her resilience a part of our life. This is why the IT department every year comes together since 2016 to support this very cause so we can bring more hope to this world. And thank you to everybody here who comes here every year to support us, to cheer us, and to also get your Friday high. And for a cupcake. I've had one. Okay, 2. 5 is not a big number. And everybody, the 5 people who do not get a cupcake, please do not come and see me. I repeat, do not come and see me. Well, the IT team every year puts up a show. COVID years and COVID birthdays don't count. I'm still 16. I can challenge you with that. But we do put up a show to support a very important cause and to have a little bit of fun. What is this cause? National Breast Cancer Foundation. And what do? Game-changing breast cancer research, funded only by you, the Australian citizens. The government do not fund this. You, the Australian citizens, do. And just an update for everybody who's been last year, I'm still not a citizen yet, so I don't give them money. The government is not helping them nor me. And what is the mission of National Breast Cancer Foundation? 0 deaths by breast cancer. And how do you do that? You catch it early. Go to the doctor. The lines are long, the hospitals are busy, we have fewer ambulances, road works are on, metros are closed. But go, because this is a priority. Why, you ask? Why should you go? Well, I give you some stats. 13 eggs, 7 carrots, 3... Oh wait, that's my grocery list. My wife does this. 7 registers, 7 cash draws. Oh wait, this is the new Harbour Town PA store. My boss wants me to get this work done. Okay, back to the stats. 1 in 7 women are diagnosed.
So we're coming to the end. I'd like to once again say thanks to Natalie. And although there was much sadness in the story, I know that because there were tears behind the curtain. But what we do is give hope so that future people don't have to go through that. And the 0 deaths through breast cancer is why we're here. Thanks to my team again. We only had 2 knees, 1 hammy and a lower back during practice, but apart from that, we're good to go. Thanks to Richard and Lou Foundation for letting us do this again. And of course, thanks to all of you. Mustafa mentioned $10,000 earlier this year. I'm pretty sure we've crossed 20,000 for this, so that's over 30,000 again this year, which is fantastic. A special thanks to Angie. It's, excuse me, a minute, get me on here. Sorry, secret prizes. Hard to keep things away from your EA, but thank you very much, Angie. It's not easy to corral such a high performance crew, but she did it well. And I'd also like to do a special thank you to Tony Mosquito and his son. Tony, thanks, buddy. Tony and his son were responsible for getting the AV with Aaron, but also all the last credits were done with Tony and his son, so that's pretty amazing. And you've set yourself a big task for next year, I think. A couple of other things. Remember the silent auction closes at 1 p.m, so if you want to do some final bids, there's still some bargains there. Silent auction is sitting at just over $3,000 at the moment, which is very good. Raffle tickets, we had a bit of a backlog at the door, so if you couldn't get one on the way in, please do your gold coin on the way out. So the only thing left to do is actually a loud auction. You can see that we've got some items up here. They do have a reserve. We'll start with the wonderful Roberto. You may not recognise, that is Roberto. Yeah. Save the best for last, Roberto. Okay, so we have this Carlton number, Patrick Cripps signature, original signature. I'm going to start the bidding at $250. I'll take a rise of 100. 350. Do I hear 350 anywhere? Roger Cripps. Roger Cripps. Patrick Cripps, sorry. Roger. Roger. Who's Roger? Patrick Cripps. His brother's Roger. Okay. 350 from Richard. 400. 400. Anywhere? This is going to be really quick. It's like a real auction. No 400s? No? Nothing? Okay, we'll move on. Move on. Unfortunately, up below reserve, so we can't do that one. We'll go Melbourne Football Club 2020-21 premiers, captain coach signatures. Very recent. I'll start again at 250. Do we have 250? We got 250 in the back. Do I have 350? We got 350 with Richard. Do I have 450? I'm pushing it. 450? 450 in the back. 500. We have 500. 500 Richard. 550. 550. You won't buy this for 550 anywhere else. 550. Anyone for 550? Melbourne 2021 Premiership team? No? I'm going to sell it. I think Richard's got 550. Anyone else? 600? 600? No? Sold. 550 to Richard. Thank you very much. Any Bombers fans? We have a blast from the past. James Hird and Matthew Lloyd signatures on this one. Again, a rare item. We have contacts. I'll start again. 250. Anyone 250? Yes. 350? 350? Yes. 400? 400? 450? 450? No? 450? 500 do we have? We have 500. 550? We have 550. 550 anywhere? Going once. It's going. 500. Going twice. Sold. 500. Okay. If you Lisa Ferraro. Yep. This man does not sign many jumpers. We managed to get one last year, and we've got another one. So Dustin Martin, signed Richmond. We will start this at 350. 350, anybody? 350, 450, 450, 550. 550 anywhere? 550, 600. 600, anyone 600? We've got 550 with Dan, double hands went up. 600. We did search online for this one. You will not get it for less than $1,000. 600, 650, 650, 700. 700 anywhere? 7? No? We all done? 650, sold. Thank you. If we could please call out your name. Annie, thank you. From? Yeah, going to come up here and say? Oh, this one. Marcus Bontempelli. We have a Western Bulldogs jumper, something new for this year. We start at 250. 250. 350. Okay, not two, 350. Two Western Bulldogs supporters. 400. 400. 4? 400 anywhere? 450? 500? 500? 500? 500? Squeeze it out. 500? Oh, that wasn't. That was inappropriate. 500 anywhere? No? Anyone? 500? No? Can't sell? Can't sell? No? Okay, we'll put that one back. They'll be here till the end of the day, so if you change your mind. Okay, so we have Michael Jordan. Unfortunately, couldn't get a signature. We'll start at 250. 250. Probably pay that for the frame. Yep. 350. Anyone 350? 350. 400. 400. Yes, 400. Thanks, Nigel. 450. 450. Nigel's got it at 400. No one for 450. It's going. No? Thank you, Nigel. 400. And the last one, Kobe Bryant. Oh, was there a bid? Did I miss? So, 450. Sorry, I didn't see you. My fault. 450. Are we going to go for 500? Nigel's good for that. No? 450? Okay, sold. No, 450. Name and floor. Jenny from Jackie E. And the last one. We have Kobe Bryant. We're going to start this one at 250. 250. 350. Don Daniel, 350. 400. 400. Sorry, have you got someone on the phone placing a bid? We'll take it. 400. 400. 450. For Kobe, 450. No? Okay, we'll wrap it up. Sold. $400. Well done. There's a little smattering of food around the place, so please get yourself some morning tea. We do have to go back to work, but it's Friday, so that's positive. And if you haven't got a raffle ticket and want to do the door donation, please do on the way out. Thank you once again for your support. It's been great doing it again. Thank you.